Support WrestleTalk!
Whoa, whoa, WrestleMania! Pump it up, pump it up. There's nothing that stands between us and WrestleMania 39 except time, hype, and increasingly weird Paul Heyman promos. What, Paul? But speaking of hype, we've all got dream scenarios in mind for the show of shows, and I'm sure you're all keen to know mine. And even if you aren't, well, I don't mind. I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and here are my 11 pitches for WrestleMania 39. Number 1, Sami Zayn main events WrestleMania. Look, I know, I need to give up on the whole him fighting for the title thing and move on. Sami Zayn lost at Elimination Chamber. He's had his chance, but as good as that match was, I'm not satisfied, and quite frankly, I don't believe Sami is either. As he said on the Raw prior to the Chamber, he believes he can be the main event of WrestleMania, and he still can, and he still should. To be frank, the numbers don't lie. Ratings for SmackDown have been increasingly impressive. People have, and clearly are still, invested in seeing Sami Zayn at the top, and to be honest, a tag match between KO and Sami and the Usos, the longest reigning tag champs of all time, part of a story that's been building and building and building. There's a lot of sauce on that steak. There's just one requirement I have. If they are going to do that tag match, it needs to be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. He deserves to be in a main event match. He should be there, and when the best frenemies do win that match, that'll still be a huge emotional moment to close a WrestleMania night. Number 2, the Bloodline ends. As great as the Bloodline saga has been, even the oosiest things must eventually come to an end. The Bloodline was effectively born when Roman Reigns aligned with Paul Heyman and won the Universal Championship way back at Payback 2020. And if WrestleMania does in fact spell the end of the road for Roman's reign, then it would be fitting to see the Bloodline collapse entirely as well. Almost 3 years, bit of a long time for a storyline. Whether it's through Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the tag titles, Cody defeating Roman Reigns, Jey Uso turning on Roman, or preferably all of the above, perhaps the most fascinating aspect of seeing Roman lose the titles will be his reaction to doing so. We've seen how unhinged, paranoid, and insecure he can get when his reign is under threat, so when the time comes post-Mania, perhaps Roman is so overcome with emotions that he takes it out on his family, who as mentioned will also have landed on the losing end in Hollywood. Roman could then transition into a program with Jey Uso and finally see Jey get his long overdue revenge on the tribal chief now that titles aren't on the line. Either way, whether it happens at Mania itself or on the Raw or SmackDown afterwards, the end of the Bloodline as we know it should be a reality soon. Number 3, The Rock confronts Roman Reigns. While this would seem a bit far-fetched considering The Rock is supposedly, air quotes, out of shape, what's to say Dwayne can't cover up that dad bod and have himself a little face-to-face with his cousin? WWE could pull a WrestleMania 27, had The Rock be the deciding factor in Reigns losing the belt, or maybe on the Raw after a despondent Roman could appear an emotional wreck, insecurities on full display, but declare himself to still be head of the table. Then, if you smell, what if instead of grilling Roman, Dwayne's maternal instincts kick in and he consoles the tribal chief in his hour of need? While that would admittedly be an extremely intriguing development, the money match isn't Roman and Rock teaming up. It's of course seeing them stand across the ring from one another. Are we looking at another once-in-a-lifetime situation where WWE set up Roman and Rock for WrestleMania 40? Number 4, Stone Cold stunners Logan Paul. Chalk this one up to just a fun moment that no one will be mad to see. Following Logan's thankfully brief babyface run, the social media megastar seems to be firmly back in the heel camp, heading into his inevitable WrestleMania match with Seth Rollins. And obviously, he's a lot better at playing a rather unlikable jerk because that's the opinion that many people have of him. And you know what's fun? Seeing unlikable jerks get themselves a nice Stone Cold stunner. Sure, it happened at WrestleMania 37, but that was a KO stunner. We want to see the proper thing. Imagine Austin comes in for a beer bath, Logan offers him a bottle of that silly Prime drink instead, and Stone Cold stunners him right out of his Pikachu sneakers. Number 5, Rhea Ripley beats Charlotte Flair. While it may have been a slight surprise to see Rhea Ripley pick Charlotte as a WrestleMania opponent following her Rumble victory, it goes without saying that Rhea must get the W and avenge that loss from WrestleMania 36. 3 years ago, she should have won, but this time there is no debate whatsoever. Rhea has been one of the consistently great characters on WWE TV over the past year, asserting herself as the muscle and de facto leader, let's be honest, of the Judgment Day. My only wish is that her victory over Charlotte comes clean. No Dom-related shenanigans needed. This is Rhea's crowning moment, and a screwy finish would only dilute that. We're living in an era of lengthy title reigns in WWE, and it's very easy to see Rhea holding onto that blue belt for quite some time. Also, probably there should be a live sex celebration on the SmackDown afterwards. Probably. Number 6, Bobby Lashley beats Brock Lesnar quickly. Please don't have Brock face Omos. That would be silly. Following the third installment of the Brock and Bobby saga ending once again in acrimonious circumstances, I think this feud is definitely due a decisive ending, perhaps one within minutes, nay seconds, of the bell ringing. We all know by now that Brock prefers not to hang around in his matches as it is anyway, so how about they pull a Goldberg versus Brock from Survivor Series 2016 and go for that shock factor courtesy of a few spears and a hurt lock for the win. No holds barred, Brock is in the hurt lock, kicks Lashley in the balls, but Lashley no-sells it, hulks up his penis, keeps the lock applied, passing Lesnar out and cementing Lashley as the kind of world beater that Cody might need to face after WrestleMania perhaps. Number 7, Uncle Howdy does something meaningful. Just one meaningful thing. Okay, I truly hate to say this, but Bray Wyatt's WWE return has been pretty underwhelming so far. Aside from one of the best WWE returns in recent memory at Extreme Rules and a banger of an entrance song, it's not quite been as epic as we imagined. In fact, that's being kind, as much of the Uncle Howdy stuff in particular has been quite bad, largely because things are just progressing so slowly that the initial mystique surrounding the character is all but worn off, plus that laser tag match at the Rumble did no one any favors. With Bray's Mania plans being a huge question mark at this point, it remains to be seen if we could potentially see Uncle Howdy's in-ring debut, either against Bray or maybe even teaming with him. To be honest, neither sounds too appealing, although progress is progress, they can still turn this ship around. Hopefully we can just reveal him as Bo Dallas, do the whole brother-brother thing, and just get on with it. Number 8, Asuka beats Bianca Belair. Look, Bianca Belair is great, so is her title reign, but it's getting to that time where she's almost giving off Super Cena vibes, so perhaps it's time to pull the trigger and get that belt off her and onto the woman with all the momentum in the world right now, Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow's sinister Juggalo rebrand, calling back to her old days as Kana in Japan, has done wonders for giving her fresh life in WWE. And with Asuka pretty much conquering all there is to conquer in the WWE realm, I think it's about time she finally gets that long overdue WrestleMania victory, with maybe a heel turn to complement her newfound/old-found viciousness. And you know what? With Papa H at the helm, I'm pretty sure he's going to give one of his all-time black and gold faves her moment in the sun. Number 9, Gunther continues his reign. Following a record-breaking showing at the Royal Rumble, much of the speculation surrounding WrestleMania has surrounded what the Ring General Gunther would be doing in Hollywood and who he would be doing it with. While many's preference, including Gunther, had been a dream match with old Brocky Boy, it seems more likely we might be getting a Clash at the Castle rewind in the form of the Austrian against the Irishman, perhaps with a certain Scots banger brother thrown into the mix for good measure, which in my opinion more than makes up for the disappointment. As mentioned earlier, WWE have had their fair share of lengthy title reigns of late, and the IC belt is no exception, with Gunther gradually approaching the honky-tonk man's seemingly untouchable 454-day run. As much as I'd like to see Sheamus get his moment at Mania, I think WWE have such a good thing going with Gunther right now, it'd be rather silly to stop it now. Keep that ball rolling. Number 10, Dominic unmasks Rey Mysterio. You know what? It's been far too long since a good old father-son grudge match at WrestleMania, and I, for one, am almost as excited as Michael Cole to see Papa Mysterio put baby Mysterio across his knee once and for all, finally getting some revenge for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day. Has there been any more? I don't know, Flag Day. And while Ray did recently claim revenge via the NASCAR track, I think we've all been waiting for the real blow-off to happen at Mania. Only don't expect Ray to get the W on this one. In fact, I think it will instead be a night of further humiliation for old Ray. Perhaps a retirement stipulation is added. Or how about Ray's mask being on the line? Just imagine the heat on Dom if he started coming out wearing Ray's mask every week following his win. It's already nuclear heat. That would send it through the roof. And number 11, Austin Theory beats John Cena clean. Lastly, we finish up with the much anticipated and long-awaited cross-generational, ruthlessly aggressive clash between John Cena and Austin Theory for the US Championship. While Theory is far from the finished article, he's only 25, mind you, the comparisons between him and a young John Cena are easy to make. The look, the brashness, and confidence has made a potential match between the two very intriguing. While Cena is Cena and could easily steamroll Theory 5 moves of doom in 1, 2, 3, it's going to be much more beneficial for WWE to give Theory a massive rub, stop it, and allow him to claim not only a win over the 16-time world champion, but even better, a clean one. No shenanigans or hijinks whatsoever. Ahead of the match, Cena can question Theory's credibility, pointing to numerous screwy finishes since becoming US champ, with Theory needing assistance from Logan Paul and Brock Lesnar to put away Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley in recent months. However, instead of the heel tactics, perhaps Theory can follow Cena's early trajectory and undergo a character change following a decisive win at Mania, earning Cena's respect as well as the fans in the process, and he can top it all off with a nice selfie with his hero. Isn't that lovely? Plus, it would make the US title seem brilliant, and that's you know, the mid-card titles have been doing really well under Papa H, so hooray. And that's our list. What would you like to see most at WrestleMania 39? Let us know in the comments. And also, check it out. Check out the last video we did of these little micro bookings. 8 pitches for WWE to split the Universal WWE Undisputed Championship. Check it out. It's really great. Bye, 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 bye. Jam that jam.